A huge thank you to Robert Bishop for sponsoring today's video on Patreon. Sidar Knight Tribal versus Jenara, Doran, and Abaddon, or Abaddon, however you meant to say it. We've got all our black mana, a little bit of card draw. That's not bad enough to ship back, I don't think, but it's not a particularly good hand. A land tax on turn 1 from Doran after playing the City of Brass. Alright, drawing into an Ancient Tomb. Doesn't get our commander out any quicker, unfortunately, but we can go for the Strike Force next turn, so get the Shocking tapped. Won't have to take too much life to Ancient Tomb, thanks to the Urborg as well. Or maybe we don't need to get out our Urborg as soon, because there's one here from Doran. Land tax not going to be as good when you are the first player to start the game, so a Strionic Resonator here. Alright, no land from Jenara, keeping a one-lander. And there is the infamous Hakon. We got a lot of use out of it the last time I played this deck. Anyway, Ancient Tomb, we will go for the Sky Hunter Strike Force, and we'll have enough black mana next turn to go for the Hakon, thanks to the Urborg, like I said. Although actually saying that, we need to get Hakon into the bin before we can cast it, don't we? Alright, and one player has scooped. Another one on the ban list. And the 40k player playing a Talisman on turn 2. And it's a main phase. You happen upon a glade, searching for 2 basics and putting them into hand. 4 cards in hand at the moment. Okay, we are struggling on our colours, unfortunately. There is an Abaddon. I suppose we might as well just get down the Urborg here and we can hold up Generous Gift. I don't suppose it's likely that we're doing anything else here. Swing in with the Sky Hunter Strike Force, and Sidar is going to trigger. Alright, and into Midnight Reaper, so we need to decide if we want to play that or the Hakon. Put the Hakon in the bin. Yeah, I think I will actually not hold up the Generous Gift and just go for the Hakon here. And that way next turn we'll be able to go for the Midnight Reaper and still hold up Plumb the Forbidden to refill our hand a little bit if there is a board wipe. And it's a Zangor Shaman from our opponent. Yeah, they might be playing a precon. They've got the lands and the Talisman. All the cards he played so far are from the 40k set. Sensei's Divining Top from the Doran player, and spinning Sensei's Top straight away. Okay, still not drawing into the colours we need. We're making lands at least. Drop the land, and there is a Lochthwain Lancer. So we could play this over Midnight Reaper and holding up Plum, and that could potentially be a better use of our mana. So yeah, because we might want to choose to hold up Generous Gift and Plum next turn, so yeah, we'll do that. And then we can spread the damage with melee here, so the Strike Force can go in at the right, and then Hakon to the left against the 3-3. Hakon will become a 5-5, and we'll see if we can draw into a land with Sidar Jabari. Alright, it is a Murderous Rider. Discard the Abaddon because we can't play it anyway. If we get into a white, we can play it from the bin, as long as Hakon stays in play. Okay, I'm actually misremembering. I thought this gave our other creatures melee, offering the trade against the flying 3-3 apparently, and our opponent doesn't take it anyway. So no harm done. The flyer swings back in at us. So this is whenever it deals combat damage to a player, copy the next instant or sorcery. So we assume that they're going to go for an instant or sorcery here, maybe not. Alright, and it is a Chaos Warp, so getting rid of probably Hakon. They're definitely targeting the Lochthwain. All we can really hope for is that we actually get into some targeting the 2 black creatures, that we get into some knights here. Alright, there's an Arid Mesa. We can get a white source out with that. Won't be able to fish out the Abaddon with Hakon anymore, but Magic Online. Won't be able to get it out with Hakon anymore, but we will be able to fish this out with our commander. Got into a Kindred Discovery as well, which is excellent. And thanks to our opponent putting us ahead on lands, the land tax triggers for the first time. They've already got basics in hand anyway, and we'll have to try and keep track of these. Let's just get out a Tricycle land. We're not going to do anything on our opponent's turn. Grabbing another couple of basics. Not sure if they've got any basic swamps in the deck. They're not. Grabbing them with the land tax. Then spinning Sensei's Divining Top during the main. A little bit of a non-bow land tax and the Sensei's Divining Top, because obviously you shuffle with land tax. You can choose not to do it, but why have it in the deck then? So seeing 3 new cards off the top and then drawing into something with the top, so that is now on the top of the library. And throwing out a forest that we knew about. Twilight Prophet, thanks to all the black mana from the Urborgs. So they're on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They need a couple more permanents in play to start getting the effect from this. Alright, a True Conviction. So let's just swing in first, see if we can actually get into a land, and that might dictate what we do for the turn. We'll swing in to the left, because this play is wide open. So Sidar will go on the stack first. We'll get some more card advantage so that we've got more of a decision as to what we discard to the commander. Alright, still no land. Another knight in hand though. And not doing too well on the land front, unfortunately. Do we just risk getting rid of Plumb the Forbidden then? Or is reanimating the Silver Wing going to be okay? This is only going to be a 2-2 is the problem, so maybe reanimating it with our commander next turn will be okay. So let's discard that. Problem is, if we play out our commander now, we can't hold up removal, but how much removal is the Grixis player going to have in hand? Right, so let's play the Sidar so that we can get Summoning Sickness away from that. And we might still get into a land yet, because our commander coming in triggers the Kindred Discovery. And still no land, alright, Cyclonic Rift, so we will leave it at that. Have to discard down to hand size here. Let's just get rid of Plum. Playing something during the first main here, so not going to be copying any instants or sorceries apparently. The commander entering play. And I'm hearing some commotion in the next room here, just hang on. What are you doing? You lost something? What's going on? You just stay there, you're alright. Don't you go moving. Oh, it's that you want. This we refer to as baubles in the UK. I don't know if that's a common name or not. Hairbands. And Cretin has tied 3 of them together. And we use them as a slingshot for the cat, and he goes nuts for this thing. In fact, I'll show you a little video of him sprinting under the sofa to get them. You're a good retriever, aren't you?
Hey, well done.
A Tree of Perdition now. So Defender 0-3 exchange target opponent's life total with Tree of Perdition's toughness. And that may well have to eat some removal, because I dare say it'll come at us. Twilight Prophet now has the City's Blessing. In comes the Sensei's Divining Top, which they would have drawn into this turn. And spinning the top by the looks of it. They do. Alright, now it's round to our turn. We get into Knight Exemplar, which is always a good one to have in play. Missing Vigilance, unfortunately, but we could block this if we've got Indestructible on our stuff. I think I quite like having that in play, although this will be an Indestructible flyer in the way as well, won't it? So we could swing in with both if we want to. Yeah, let's get the Indestructible going. And we may still be able to hold up removal if we get into a white source here. But like we've seen all game, the colours have been a bit weird this game. Well, would you look at that? A scrubland straight off the top, so we'll just play that straight away. And could get down this, but I think I want to hold up the Generous Gift. Like I said, see what we draw into here. Oh, other creatures only have melee when your commander's in play. I forgot about that bit. I was remembering it right. I just forgot the Lieutenant. So it is Sidar to the right then. Sky Hunter Strike Force to the left. And now we get a bunch of melee triggers. Sidar's Draw or Loot effect is on the stack first for reasons we discussed previously. And Kindred Discovery going to continue to be incredible as it always is. Now we might be able to risk the commander staying in play because he does have to deal damage. And I would, like I said before, like to get rid of this before anything else. Although maybe we can leave it alone if we can get down True Conviction. Yeah, I don't know. There's a Raise the Palisade. And a Mana Drain as well. We just need the colours to go with this stuff now. Another blue source straight off the top from Sidar. Okay, Swamp. Let's get rid of the Wintermoor commander, I think. So this way we can hold up the Murderous Rider, actually. that can, yeah, any creature or planeswalker, so we can do a black creature with that. Do we do it now so that we don't have to discard as much to hand size? Might be a waste if this player decided to go for some removal of his own. Both of our opponents taking the damage here. So Sidar, able to reanimate something, will go for the Silverwing Squadron. We did assume that we'd get through with the commander, but it wasn't a guarantee, so 5/5 indestructible melee vigilance flyer into play, and cantrips as well. And there's an Urza's Incubator, which, yeah, we can't quite get down here. Or actually, the Swift End wouldn't be discounted there anyway. So yeah, I think we want to discard fewer cards here. So let's go for the Swift End now, I think. And we'll do that onto the plant creature. So we'll be able to play this from the exile zone as a knight. And we're still having to discard 2 to hand size here. So with this hand, I think it does have to be Urza's Incubator, unfortunately. And what else? Does it have to be Generous Gift while we've got a Mana Drain and a Cyclonic Rift in hand? Are we going to be holding up a Mana Drain? Let's get rid of Mana Drain. Mana Drain is the type of thing that we'd want to hold on to counter board wipes and stuff, but hopefully we'll keep Indestructible in play for a while yet. And because we've got a lot of black mana in play already, we'll hold off on casting or playing the swamp next turn, and we'll try and draw into some more blue or white. Alright, and trying to get some damage through here, so we'll be able to get Cascade most likely this turn. That will be one of the reasons to have not gone for the Swift End and just taken the hit on discarding a card. Maybe could have gone for just pitching the land, then we could have held on to the Swift End and try and draw into a land next turn. Just paranoid about not drawing into them at the moment. The Zangor Shaman is going to trigger, and we're going to get copies and cascades and all that. 5 cards in hand, and let's hope it's something bad. Okay, a Bloodthirster is a demon, flying and trample, so they don't get a copy of it from the Izzet flyer at least. Cascaded into Venom Crawler, which is whenever another creature dies, put a plus counter on it. That is a lifelinker. This is when it deals combat damage to a player, untap it, and there's an additional combat phase. But they can't attack the same player with that at least. Twilight Prophet going to trigger for the first time. And they know what's on top of the library with Sensei's top, so you would think they would put the biggest thing on top of the library. If not, then they'll have to waste some mana this turn. Okay, going for something in response. Going to go for the Strionic Resonator, yeah. So copying the Twilight Prophet. They're still just trying to get into mana at this point by the looks of it. Oh, that's a lot of damage. That is a Sandworm Convergence. And another decent chunk in Mangara's Tome. When it enters the battlefield, search for 5 cards, exile them face down, and shuffle. The next time you would draw a card this turn, instead put the top of that pile into your library, the top card of that pile. So he's got these big cards in hand, and he's dealing a nice chunk of damage, but doesn't have the mana to do much else, unfortunately. I think we'll be playing the True Conviction next turn and trying to force our opponent here to block with the Bloodthirster. If we get into a land, we'll be able to hold up the 2 mana version of Cyclonic Rift anyway, so if we're worried about extra combats, then we'll be able to do something about that potentially. Okay, Nylea's Intervention, where X was 6 there, so twice X damage to each creature with flying. Don't think it's twice X damage, so I don't think they needed to put that much into it. I'm sure it was 6. But took down the Zangor Shaman and the Bloodthirster. Venom Crawler saw some creatures die, so the lifelinker gets some plus counters. And our opponent's just teeing us up here, really. I think we'll be able to just drop the True Conviction and deal a hell of a lot of damage next turn, probably take this player out. Yeah, he got pretty unlucky with that Chaos Warp, but got rid of some good cards from us. He had to do it, really. Alright, and another Swamp, so still won't play that one either. Might be some discard fodder. Let's go for the True Conviction. And we'll go straight through to the attacking phase. So we've got double strike, lifelink and melee on all of our stuff. Indestructible on most of it as well. So 5, 6, 7 is only 14 in the air. So we'll have to take this into the left as well. And then the other 2 to the right. And we care about commander damage over here as well. So a bunch of melee. Silverwing Squadron is going to make a couple of Knight tokens as well. Well, I'm not sure where all these lands are off the top. We've done pretty well considering the bad luck on that front. Kindred Discovery triggers on the Knight tokens entering as well, and there's a Plains, only a basic, but we're managing to get into them at least. even if it does take some effort. Discard, just a basic swamp will do to the Sidar. And at this point, seeing as how we don't have to hold up the Cyclonic Rift, I think we just go for a Plains into the Lightning Greaves. We can protect the Knight Exemplar with that, so that they can't as easily remove Indestructible from us. So Sidar manages to hit our opponent, and let's just go after the Adeline here, I think. Come up the board with even more tokens. And we do have double strikes, so... Oh, actually, I didn't work it out. That's 21 points of commander damage, so we actually win there. Yeah, this was up to a 7-6. So yeah, definitely getting down the True Conviction was the play to make there. Got him down to 3 anyway, so likely would have taken him out next turn anyway. Kindred Discovery would have got us into the incredible Trouble in Pairs, which I haven't seen enough people playing yet. Turns out the artist from this is a thief, and I think it was Cyberpunk, whatever the hell that video game was called, the red-haired Mohican person there. I think there was some art from that was stolen, as it happens. But anyway, obviously reanimate this with the second strike on Sidar. And yeah, didn't matter in the end because maths is for blockers and I didn't bother doing it. Turns out it's minus 14 and 21 points of commander damage. So a pretty commanding one there. A bit of luck involved on our end. But Kindred Discovery, doing Kindred Discovery stuff and keeping us in this one. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'm tribalkai. Thank you for watching.